Deloitte conducted research and they found that inclusive cultures are 8 times more likely to achieve better outcomes. So if you're looking to do something similar and also improve your outcomes around DEI in a manner that is improving over time and sustainable, I recommend conducting an employee viewpoint survey and doing this in the beginning of your DEI journey and every year after. Now, an employee viewpoint survey is going to allow you to capture the perspectives, the points of views, and the observations of your employees as it relates to your culture with specific focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, you can just start with your entire organization, or if you have certain departments or offices, you can segment out the information and then capture the aggregate data. To encourage participation, you can go to your CEO or president and ask them, do you mind sharing a short personal video to encourage participation from all employees, and just share the reason why their input matters. The next thing you want to do is look at how do we actually measure individually diversity, equity, and inclusion. And in my article, I share specific examples, but just to share with you right here around inclusion, you might want to capture metrics around the rate of which you hire, promote, and have employees separate from the organization, with an emphasis looking at the percentages of certain demographics. Meaning, what percentage of African Americans are being hired in comparison to Asians? And you can do the same thing for separations and promotions. The next thing you want to do is analyze and contextualize the data into core themes, gaps, and opportunities to serve as a roadmap for your entire DEI journey. As it relates to informing your strategy, your talent development, and recruitment practices. So one of our clients started their journey very similarly by sharing a survey to all 7,500 employees, and from that they identified the gaps and created 4 pillars, which ended up being the roadmap and the guiding principles for their strategy, talent development, and so forth. The next thing I recommend is to make sure you keep your leaders accountable by helping them lead by example and assessing their behaviors as it relates to inclusive leadership traits, and seeing with an assessment, are there opportunities for further development so they have the capacity and the skill sets to support your DEI efforts. And the last thing I recommend is, as a leader, supporting your upper management and also board members, asking them questions, beginning the conversation by looking at your measurement practices. So you might ask them, what measurements or what metrics do we have in place to identify the gaps and areas of improvements for our diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts? And then how are we going to leverage these metrics to continuously improve diversity, equity, and inclusion policies and practices? I'm going to end with Peter Drucker, a quote by him who said it best: if you don't measure it, you can't improve it. So with that, thanks so much for watching this. If you found this information useful, feel free to check out the full article where I give more examples and more context around this content. And then with that, please like the video and drop a comment to let me know your thoughts, and have a super day.